Arsenal 0, Brighton 3. Oh my god. It's not a result I expected out of this game. However much Arsenal lost, I wouldn't have seen them lose by this margin. But the moment I saw the gaffer of Arsenal take off Odegaard, take off Jesus, and then bring on other players, I got to know it could go worse. And obviously my mind was ringing 3-0 to be considered by Arsenal, because you take off these players that can really cause havoc to your opponent, and then you bring in players who cannot even hurt the opponent. Welcome to this channel, Rokani Media Football. It is. Smash the like button, comment and share. It's all over. It's all over. Man City just need to win one game. Just need to win one game, and if at all they win that one game, they are going to be crowned champions. And if at all Arsenal won today, Man City wouldn't have been crowned champions at Etihad, because their last game at Etihad is going to be against Chelsea. The remaining two games are going to be played away. That is, away at Brentford and away at a side called Brighton. That's it. So Arsenal have shown us that the players are really desperate. They cannot come out and really get the job done when need is called in for. And you feel a little bit pity for Jakub Kiwior, having had the previous two games really nice. And even today he played very well, but how that boot gets out of his foot, and you know, people have gone ahead to blame him, but I don't blame him, because when that when your boot gets out of your foot, the way it did in the 51st minute for Ensiko to score, there is no way you are going to concentrate onto really the ball coming in, because you've lost your level. And when you lost your level, there is no way you cannot capsize to the ground, you know. That is it. But all in all, it shows you that chances are required for you to really win, and luck is part of every win or lifting a trophy. That's it. People have always gone ahead to downplay it, that it's all about doing things right. But even if you do things right, you know, when luck is not on your side, then nothing can really put you up there in the ilk of coming out and obviously becoming a champion. Because today, looked at Arsenal play. One, they had chances. Before those 3 goals go in, Arsenal had the best chances of the game. That's it. Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, who else? So they had chances to really kill off the game, but they didn't. And this is what happens when you get chances and you don't kill them off. That's it. And today, their main man was really off. That is Odegaard, because Odegaard lifted them in the game of Newcastle and the game of Chelsea. So he never looked like he was the Odegaard we knew, and he was really off. Then they got an injury of Martinelli that was really huge when he was really fouled by Caicedo, and obviously he attacked his Achilles and he really walked out of the field of play. But it was not a really drop off, but you understand the intensity that Martinelli really brings in, and you understand that that affected the substitution plan of the manager, because at the time you really call in for lots of things to come in through, and obviously with the needful, the players especially coming in from the club, from the bench, and obviously get your game plan working in there for you. But Benny White today, as I told you and warned Benny White, that when you look at Mitoma, he's one of the deadliest left attack midfielders. And every time Mitoma approached Ben White, he sat him down and went past him. So this is why I told you in the match build-up that Saka needs to be so much active, because he needed to track back every time. But Saka sometimes tracked back, sometimes he didn't. You know? But it goes all back to the substitutions that even Mikel Arteta made. How do you take Jesus and Odegaard off the field fast when they've been performing better in the previous games, and you leave off Bukayo Saka? I would like to ask myself, Saka is a good player. I don't undermine him, but I think in a game like this, you need players like Odegaard, whose confidence and composure is really higher than that of Saka, you know? And then you leave him on the field of play. Jesus Jesus is taken off, Saka stays, and when he stayed in the entire in the entire remaining minutes of the game to end, what happened? Nothing. And I even question the thinking of Mikel Arteta on getting on Emile Smith Rowe in a game like this when he has not been giving him playing time. You know? And if I was Mikel Arteta, I would have brought on Thomas Partey, keep Jorginho on, you understand? And then I load the front line. Because if at all you are having Jorginho and Partey playing into the midfield together, you are giving license to Trossard, Saka, Reece Nelson, and Jesus, Odegaard to operate. So to me, I think that's what would have gone ahead to do. And this season, not only this season, by the way, for very many times, we've seen Mikel Arteta coming out through and really being a culprit of his own substitutions. And if Arteta had some good experience in the Premier League and he had ever won the Premier League, I think he would have gone ahead to do better substitutions. But I don't blame him a lot because this is the first time he's doing it. And let's wait and see next season whether he would have gone ahead to learn from what he has. But again, why do you bring on players that cannot really fight in? Because by the time Jesus got off, Odegaard, Granit Xhaka, Jorginho, the game was still 1-0. I understand Xhaka was really having a very bad day, and I think was the first player that would have gone ahead to take off, get in Thomas Partey and Jorginho in that midfield, let them get hold of it, and then you see your front three of Trossard, Jesus, and Bukayo Saka commit much more into the final third of the opponent. That's it. But you go on and really continue to bring on the Martinellis of this world, the Edin Nketiahs. What is that? What's that sense behind those substitutions? And I know inside him, he knows he's the one to blame. But even if you're the one to blame, I think these 3 games were just enough to help you correct your mistakes. But again, Arteta's going to hate to do the same mistakes. So I think that calls in for more signings for Arsenal. Their season is done. They finished second. The best number of points they can really amass at the end of the season is no longer 90 now. They can only collect 87 points if they win the remaining 2 games. And in that form that they've played today, if they go away to Nottingham like that, I don't see Arsenal really getting a result at Nottingham. I'm really factual because Arsenal played well for the 51st minute, and after all that, they found themselves in a position of really losing out. And I'm seeing their players just into the mix of just sitting on the floor, and Brighton players are into the dressing room celebrating. And when you look at Brighton, they are really putting in a fight, and they're now having 58 points. And they're left with 4 games to play. If they win those 4 games, they're going to be having 70 points. And with this uplift they've gotten in from beating Arsenal, they can beat the remaining teams. That's it. So Europe has become Europe, and I think unless otherwise Manchester United and Newcastle really capsize, but they only need to win 2 games out of their remaining 3 to really qualify for the Champions League, and I think that's going to be able. But Newcastle still has to play Brighton, and we'll wait and see how that's going to happen in through. But obviously the game has ended in favor of Brighton, and Brighton are really getting us the best that they deserve, and they are really winning and winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. Now we are having how everything happened. 14 shots for Arsenal, 12 for Brighton, 2 shots on target for Arsenal, 6 for Brighton. Brighton had it right. Arsenal had 41% possession, Brighton had 59% possession, 359% passes completed by Arsenal. Brighton completed 528 passes. And by the way, to amass all this, Arsenal found themselves in a position of really getting out players, and when they get off the players, things turned out. Things never happened. You know, Jorginho, when Jorginho came off, Odegaard, things happened, and Brighton really went into full control of the game. 77% passing accuracy by Arsenal, very little, because at least you're supposed to be averaging 80 per game. That is the passing accuracy. 83% passing accuracy by Brighton. 13 fouls committed by by Arsenal. Then 17 fouls committed by Brighton. 1 yellow card to Arsenal and 2 yellow cards to Brighton. 0 red cards to both sides. 1 offside to Arsenal and 4 offsides to Brighton. 5 corners to Arsenal and 2 corners to Brighton. Let's go to the Premier League table and see how it's really standing and what it means after today's game of football. Now, Man City on top of the Premier League table, 85 points after winning today against Everton. Then Arsenal have played one more game than Man City, and City have gone ahead to find themselves in a position of being 4 points clear ahead of Arsenal, yet they're having a game in hand. Newcastle, 66 points, 35 games played. Man United, 66 points, 35 games played. Liverpool, 35 games played. United are having 62. That's it. Then Brighton, 34 games played, 58 points. So the battle is for the Champions League places, of which I think they're already taken. I think Newcastle is going to win its remaining 2 games, and United is going to win its remaining 2 games. Then Europe is going to be a very huge competition for, because the next 4 up to the 8th. So Liverpool, Brighton, Tottenham, Aston Villa. There is a very huge fight of this position, because even if Brentford comes in through and wins its games, they might find themselves at like, they can find themselves at like 59 points. So that's the battle, and that's how Arsenal's gonna hate to end its season. Though there are some other 2 games left, I think they are for fun, because City has shown us that they have the best template to win the league. You know, this is all about a marathon, not a race. Sorry, not a 100-meter race. So Arsenal won the 100-meter race, and Man City have gone ahead to really win the trophy this season. So guys, your thoughts onto that are welcome in the comment section below. Smash the like button, comment and share, and don't forget to subscribe. But credit to Zerbi, you know, quality of players surpasses everything, because for him, he never stops. He never stops doing the same thing he does, and his players, they keep doing the same thing again and again, and they keep knocking. That's it. They never keep knocking on your door until you really open up and you really give them the keys to your goal, and they've gone ahead to score. But all those goals have been preventable, you know, but giveaways turned out to be giveaways, and obviously Arsenal found themselves in a position of really losing. And for the very first time this season, I've seen that Emirates Stadium empty before the game came to an end. Arsenal fans were really demoralized. They really felt betrayed by these players again, and obviously we who believe that Arsenal could win the trophy have come out and really surrendered. That's it. Calls in for more signings, but hard luck Arsenal. I think they've not bottled anything. They've just tried to give us their best and really give City a chase that nobody else could give. Liverpool couldn't, Man United couldn't. No one could put up a race. No one could put up a fight that Arsenal put up on City this season. And Arsenal have spent very many days on top of the Premier League table, but it is really back to haunting them. Will they recover from this next season? That's up to Mikel Arteta and his players. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. That is my match reaction. Arsenal 0, Brighton 3, and Arsenal have been destroyed again at the Emirates. I'm out.